Right, so I finished The Courting of Dina Shad by Rudyard Kipling, which has one of those, okay, so he gets in trouble for, he indeed successfully courts Dina Shad, Mulvaney, the title Irish rapscallion of this thing. He does that, but he goes off and he hangs out with Judy Sheehy, who immediately tries to trap him into marriage, saying like, you promised to be my man because basically you hung out with me at night and you let me sit on your lap and probably made out with me. It's like, yeah, yeah. And he's really down in the heels. Gets the advice of an even harder man who married the wrong woman a long time ago, and that didn't go well. He says like, look, whatever you do, do not marry Judy. You know how badly that will end. You'll probably freaking murder her within a year if you do. And so he says, I'm just gonna go to Dina and confess. And he's just starting on his confession when Judy and her mother show up to publicly shame him um, into a marriage. And Dina, after hearing the kind of initial thing, runs, says like "fuck you" and runs off. And he kind of stands against Judy and her mother and says like, no, no, this is not going to happen. I'm not going to marry you ever. It's not going to happen. You're trying to trick me, and you're trying to shame me into this. You're trying to pressure me into this. It's never going to happen. I do not want to be with the likes of you. And her mother, Miss Sheehy, goes off on this amazing curse, and it's amazingly bitter curse. And in the middle of it, Dina comes back and holds his hand and says, go away. And she includes her in the curse, specifically saying, you're going to give birth and the child is going to die and you're going to have to bury him by the side of the road. And you're just going to be a private's wife, and you're going to instead of being a wife of a sergeant, you're going to be washing the sergeant's clothes, and all the sergeant's wives are going to look down on you. And she foams at the mouth and falls down, and then kind of comes to and it's like, oh, well, what the hell, kind of like, what thing, kind of some tea. It's just like, they're just like, fuck off, you've cursed my child. Old Miss Shad says, you've cursed my child, just screw off. And Mulvaney finishes the story and he says like, well, what do you think? Because it's like, all of that happened. It did happen. Dina did give birth to a child on the road while there was the cholera, and I got back in time to see it turn over and to look at me before it died. He died. This little man baby. And yeah, I'm a private. It's all come true. What do you think? What do you think? And the narrator says, well, I made the mistake of just reaching out to kind of, the touch, but Mulvaney doesn't know his own strength, and he crushes like three of his fingers. And then they get interrupted by Othris singing a song about kind of woe, the soldier's life woe. And that is sort of where it ends. Listen to our little man now, singing and shouting as though trouble never touched him. Do you remember when he went mad with homesickness? And this is probably referring to earlier stories that Mulvaney and his cohort are obviously big favorites of Kipling. And, the narrator ends the thing going, when I woke, I saw Mulvaney, the night dew gemmed his mustache, leaning on his rifle at picket, lonely as Prometheus on his rock, with I know not what vultures tearing his liver. So it definitely is a thing of like this kind of rascal rapscallion, and it's like, here's his private sorrow. Here's his private private sorrow of this curse that he feels like he lives under. And I mean, even if it wasn't the curse, it's just like the circumstances of losing a child and not living up. It's one thing for him to be a private, but it's like his wife is also the wife of a private. A lifelong private, this older guy who never gets past that, and his appetites and his thirst for drink and adventure, it all fucks him up, and it's all listed in Judy Sheehy's mother's curse against him. So yeah, an interesting story. You can see why Kipling is that little bit much more deeper into his characters, and then just that wonderful voice again. All right, I will leave it there. More videos later.